Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a new Ninjago Season 11 episode review here on the channel. In today's video we're taking a look at episode 11 of Season 11 entitled Never Trust a Human. So this episode is very unique to the overall Season 11 story as it is primarily a flashback episode, and we'll go ahead and break down the good things, the bad things, and then I'll give the episode a score out of 10 once we actually get to that point. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the things that I really enjoyed about this episode. First of all, this episode again is a flashback episode, and its main purpose is to overall basically give exposition to the entirety of Season 11's story. This episode explains why Esphira is the way that she is and what her motivations actually are, and that's something that I really enjoyed. Of course, being a flashback episode, this episode is told from the perspective of a young Wu and a young Garmadon. So yes, Garmadon made his first appearance in this season in a flashback, which I'm not opposed to, and this episode also shows us the actual origins of Forbidden Spinjitzu, which is something that I really enjoyed as well. Overall, this episode did a great job of summarizing the overall origins of Esphira and Forbidden Spinjitzu, and actually showed Wu and Garmadon using Forbidden Spinjitzu as children, which is really cool. They also gave some context to the whole serpentine human war and why they hate each other and why they actually decided to battle, so I guess that's really cool to see. It's always nice to get a little bit of a history lesson for Ninjago, plus the actual title is a reference to an earlier Ninjago episode. This episode is called Never Trust a Human, and one of the earlier episodes featured Lloyd and Pythor meeting, and that episode was called Never Trust a Snake. So really fun there. Really fun throwback, but overall this episode did a really good job of setting up the overall arc for Esphira in Season 11's story, and that's something that I primarily liked the most about this episode. As for the bad things, there aren't really a whole lot of bad things going on here. If I had to point out any negatives, I would say there's hardly any ninja action going on here. I mean, this episode is just a flashback episode, and it still featured action. Of course, it doesn't really drive the story forward, it kind of backtracks to explain the story, but I feel like that's needed here. And plus, the season is 30 episodes long, so they can dedicate a few episodes to flashbacks and things like that. It really doesn't bother me too much, because at the end of the day, the ninja fighting villains wasn't really the point of this episode. The point of this episode was to set up Esphira as a villain, explain her motivation, explain where Forbidden Spinjitzu came from, and show us some of the negative effects of that, specifically on a young Master Wu and a young Garmadon. And I thought this episode did its job. This episode was really well done. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and this is probably one of my favorite episodes so far from Season 11's Fire Chapter. With everything being said in this review, I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. I think this episode is really well done, and I would definitely recommend watching it. With all that being said, you guys, that'll just about do it for this review. Thank you so much for watching this one. If you enjoyed the video, as always, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up rating, and of course, remember to hit the subscribe button if you've not done so already. Once again, guys, the comment section is there for the various discussions that you would like to have regarding this topic, or if you just had a comment of a general nature, that's fine as well. In the description, you will find the links towards my other forms of social media, whether it be my Twitter, my Instagram, my Patreon, or my merch. Be sure to support me on all those platforms if you would like to. With all that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.